Hey guys, welcome back to Quality Shot Tennis. My name's Anthony Hirsch, and today I have compiled a list of 100 ATP players, and I've ranked them all by entertainment value. That doesn't mean my 100 favorite players to watch, because that is very subjective, and this list is partly subjective as well. There's no way for it not to be subjective, but I've tried to remove bias. This isn't just all my favorite players in the top 10. Trust me, it's not. This is a list of who I think most people, most tennis fans, are going to be entertained by. So, Gael Monfils, I think a lot of people have thrown around the word entertaining when you're talking about Nick Kyrgios. When you're talking about a player like Gilles Simon, shout out to Gilles Simon, all respect to him, that's not a word that's been thrown around a lot with him. Now, very, very good player, of course. One of the best in the world for a long time. But entertaining is a different thing in itself, and I've compiled a list of 100 players. I've ranked them by entertainment value, and I've taken the top 50 in the ATP rankings and also 50 other players as well. And all of the players that all of your favorites, they'll be on the list. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to like the video. This is one of a lot of different kind of list and ranking videos I'm going to be doing for different things. I'm also working on another big project soon, which is me ranking all of the matches between the big three and other stuff. So there's going to be a lot more stuff coming of this sort, which I'm really, really excited about. But okay, so let's get into it. This is the entertainment value ranking for 100 players. I'm going to go from 100 and then I'm ending at number 1. And no disrespect to any of the players at the bottom, but somebody had to be at the bottom. And I think it's all pretty interesting to think about. So let's get into it. So number 100, I've got Giovanni Impecci Pericard. Giovanni Impecci Pericard. First of all, I want to say this guy had an unbelievable week in Basel at the end of the year. Unbelievable week. But he's definitely a serve bot. He's definitely one of the serve bots of the day in the modern era. He massively depends on his incredible serve. In Basel, he was averaging 129 miles per hour on his second serve. I believe that's about equal to tour average on the first serve. It's unbelievable. Impecci Pericard is very much based on the serve, and whereas I think a guy like Milos Raonic might be a little bit more entertaining on the serve, Impecci Pericard brings a really fast service motion, and I don't know, I think even though he has a one-handed backhand, which can often be fun to watch, that one can break down quite easily. So I have him at number 100, very dependent on the serve. And with every player, I'm not going to go super in-depth. So most of these, I'm going to go through a very short synopsis. The ones that I find a little bit more interesting, such as why the least entertaining player is who the least entertaining player is, I'm going to give a little bit more of a longer spiel, probably, especially as we go further in the rankings. But most of these are probably going to be pretty short. Then I have Munar at 99, Spaniard, and I have him at 99 because even though I actually have a lot of respect for Munar, he's one of the grinders on clay, so he's going to be at 99. 98, Cameron Norrie. Shout out to Norrie, fantastic player, underrated, but he does not have a backhand that most people would categorize as, Federer-esque maybe in terms of how elegantly he hits it. But shout out to Cameron Norrie, because he's underrated and he's very complete across all of the surfaces. So he's good on all surfaces, very surface versatile. Roberto Bautista Agut, I have at 97. At 96, I have Mariano Navone. At 95, I have Bu, Chinese player. At 94, I have Giron. 93, I have Martin Fucsovics. 92, I have Pedro Martinez. 91, I have Sebastian Baez. Once again, very, very, very good players, Baez. But a lot of these guys, like Bautista Agut, like Giron, I just feel like they don't have that flashy element that really takes them to the next level. Baez is pretty fun to watch. He's a good athlete, and he's not boring to watch, but he's going to be lower on the list than most here, I think, for my version of the entertainment value rankings. Let me know what you disagree with, because I know there will be lots of disagreements. Let me know what you disagree with or agree with. But let's breeze through a few more here as we go to number 90, which is Botic van de Zandschulp. Now, I actually like watching Botic. Talented guy, but I'm not going to put him that high here. I mean, Lot of cross court hitting, pretty standard, nothing that crazy. I gotta put him at 90. And he doesn't give a lot in the personality front, which isn't to discredit him, but that's just is what it is. And I actually enjoy that because he beat Alcaraz. He just didn't faze him at all. 89, Milos Raonic. Love watching Milos. He'd be high up on my list because I actually really enjoy watching Milos, but he's number 89 because Surfbot. He had a good forehand back in the day too, as well as a few other things. 88, Karin Khachanov is number 88. Once again, incredible player. It's been top 10, but in terms of watchability, I won't put him that high. 87, Darderi. 86, Nakashima. 85 is Zverev, Alexander Zverev. Yep, world number 2, I'm putting him at 85. And once again, I was trying to remove bias completely. That was my goal with this, but in terms of a guy who, and I'm going to breeze through quite a few more, probably go through the next one's not as long, but in terms of Zverev, I don't know. His serve is one of the very best on tour. I think he's not entirely serve, but when he's not, watching him at just long rallies, backhand after backhand, sometimes not taking chances the way he needs to. And honestly, in big matches, oftentimes having issues as well in the big moments, but just not taking chances. A lot of backhand cross-court rallies and just standard cross-court rallies, really kind of a baseliner, aggressive baseliner, barely comes to net. He's coming to net a little bit more now, but he's not going to be that high on my watchability count. I don't think he's that flashy, but I will say his backhand is stupendous. Sometimes, just because he's such a talented player, he'll hit a ridiculous shot, particularly off the backhand wing. So I'm not saying he has no good shots. Any player who's that good will have some, but for me, in terms of entertainment, he's going to be pretty low, honestly. 84 is Thomas Martin Etcheverry. At 83, Nuno Borges. 82 is Maxime Cressy, who I have at 82. I didn't know what to do with Cressy, honestly, because Cressy is just... Some people will love watching him. Some people will hate watching him. He's that kind of a player, but once again, very reliant on the serve. This is a guy, if you're not familiar with, coming to net every point. There are some players I just didn't know what to do with. I actually like watching Cressy. I like a guy who's serving and volleying in an era where there's not a lot of serve and volley. But for most people, I think he's going to rank pretty low. And just inconsistent, very reliant on serve, and he needs that volley to be working to win the matches. And then at 81, I've got David Goffin. Once again, very good player, just low. That's going to be true about the next 3 as well. Hubert Hurkacz is number 80. It speaks for itself, very serve reliant as well, even though he is good otherwise too. Number 79, Felix Auger-Aliassime. Same thing. 78, Andrei Rublev. Now, Rublev is where I feel like there are going to be a lot of disagreements, but for me, once again, this isn't about my favorites, but I think for most people, they're probably, in terms of the most entertaining players, going to want something a little bit more flashy and a little bit more craft to their games than Rublev brings. Maybe somebody more like an Alcaraz if you're going to put him at the top, but Rublev is extremely talented, and to generate pace constantly from the back the way he does, I mean, it's fun to watch a guy so talented, and that's already great in itself. So he does bring some entertainment, but the players above him I enjoy watching too. So this isn't about bad to watch. This is just he's lower than some of the other guys. Francisco Cerundolo is next, great forehand, but in terms of the whole game as a whole, I'm not going to put him that high. Then Roman Safulin, Taylor Fritz. Another great player, but Fritz, once again, also a bit reliant on the serve, but now pretty complete player at this point now, especially since the movement's gotten a lot better. Then I've got Tabilo, Tim van Rijthoven, Carbias Baena, Adrian Manarino, Arthur Rinderknecht at 70, 69, Jordan Thompson, 68, Dusan Lajovic, 67, Tanasi Kokkinakis, 66, Borna Coric, 65, I've got the greatest player of all time, Novak Djokovic. In my opinion, the greatest player of all time. I put Djokovic at 65. I think a lot of people are going to have him very high. They should. I enjoy watching Djokovic. But I think for most people, they're going to look for somebody who takes a few more risks. They're going to look for somebody who is perhaps a bit more flashy the way he hits it. Novak is ridiculously consistent. That takes a lot of skill, by the way, but he's ridiculously consistent and hitting ridiculous shots. Like like just the amount of depth he can get on defense is incredible in itself and is very skillful. So there's a lot of great things about Novak to watch. But in general, he's not gonna hit some crazy, outrageous shot of the year usually when you're watching his matches. Like, that's just not gonna happen, even though he's so great. Occasionally he does hit a very good shot, but he's very calculated. He's very within the margins, and it's incredible how consistent he is with how fine his margins are. But that consistency that he so heavily wants to maintain stops him from being number one on the entertainment value rankings. He does have the record for most year-end number ones in the ATP rankings and the most weeks at number one in the ATP rankings, so I don't think you'll mind. Number 64 is Yoshihito Nishioka. Number 63 is Alexei Poprin, who I really enjoy watching now as too, by the way, but he could be higher, honestly, but I think the players ahead of him are fun to watch as well. Number 62, Yuri Lehechka is fun to watch. Good athlete, great forehand hitting. Number 61, it's Nicolas Jarry. Jarry is fun to watch. Chilean player. I don't know, just a very good player. Steps up against the big guys, so I enjoy watching him. Just the players above him I enjoy watching, or the players above him I think most people will enjoy watching more. So just to be clear, this is the players who I think the most amount of people will be entertained by. So if you take everybody's list of who they personally find the most entertaining, then I think whatever, like Djokovic is, I think he on average would be 65th on people's list of most entertaining. Because some people would put him at like 80 or 90. Some people would put him at 20, 10, or even 1. But I think if you take the average, if people watch at one match from each of these players and you take the average, if they all compile a personal favorites list, this is where they would average out. So this is who I think players will be, who people will generally find the most entertaining. Anyway, 60 is Alex Mickelson, American player. I like watching Mickelson. I think he's underrated. I think he's better than people give him credit for, and also more entertaining than people give him credit for, but I'm going to put him at 60. Number 59, Marin Cilic. Nobody plays like him. His forehand take back is ridiculous. So is his backhand. Talented guy. Great, amazing player. But he's going to be 59th. 58th, Mackenzie McDonald. One of the quickest guys on tour. 57 is Lorenzo Sonego. Yeah, he's fun to watch too. Number 56 is Luca Von Osch. Love watching Luca. If he can really improve and step up his game, he has a very, very fun game style. It's just he's rather inconsistent right now, and that does count into entertainment value. I mean, quality of play does count into entertainment value. That's not the only factor, but it is a factor. Because you want to watch a guy who's a little bit consistent, and Luca just misses that a little bit. In 2 or 3 years, I could see him being way higher if I make an updated version of this list, which actually I hope to. I hope to make an updated version of this list at some point. There will be a lot of other lists coming as well. All right, let's speed through this a little bit more and get to the top 25 or 30 players. Number 55, Miomir Kecmanovic. Number 54 is Casper Ruud. Casper Ruud is a player that I personally would probably have in my top 5 personal favorites to watch. Let me just say that, honestly. I love watching Ruud. It's the same reasons I loved watching Murray, especially back in the day. 2008 to 2017 era, where I just feel like they're not that flashy, but man, are they talented. And they will hit some shots that are creative that other players don't usually hit. I love watching a guy like Casper. He's got a good personality, scrappy. I enjoy watching Casper, but for most people, I think they're going to want somebody who's a little bit more flashy and not just very talented, which I respect the fact that he's very talented, but I feel like a lot of people won't even recognize that. So number 53, I have Bergs. Number 52, I've got Rune. When I posted this on X or Twitter, which is really its name, when I posted this on X, I got a lot of disagreements. I'm telling you, I got loads of disagreements about Rune. There was the player that the most disagreements I got was about this placement, I think. Either this one or another one a bit later, which I think you guys can guess, but I'll let you know later in the video. But Rune, shout out to Rune, very talented player, but he can be a tough watch at times, in my opinion, with some of his shot selection issues, and at the moment, a bit inconsistent the way he plays. And he's a bit of a, fine margin kind of, grinder from the back at times, just cross court, backhands, and then but I mean, he's fast, he's very quick, he's complete, he can be good at the net. So I mean, he's a talented kid. He's got a good personality. I don't know. I decided to put him at 52. I didn't think... A lot of people compare him to Novak, and Novak's incredible, but he's not going to be... Like I said, he's not going to be number one on the list. So I put him at 52. Number 51, Christopher O'Connell. Love his one-hand backhand. Flashy player. One of the flashiest players outside the top 50. Number 50, Alex de Minaur. Very fast guy. I think a lot of people have him higher. I think some people have him lower. I think he's maybe just a little bit too calculated, which is a good thing to be higher. Number 49, Hugo Humbert. He could also be higher, but that's where I decided to place him. Fun to watch, though. Very talented. 48, Shevchenko. Also very talented player. Number 47, Max Purcell. One of the few guys who comes to net on probably at least over 30-40% of the points. Love watching Max. One of the most talented guys in the doubles as well, along with his partner Jordan Thompson. Number 46, Matteo Berrettini. At first Matteo was lower. I put him at like 56, I think. And he was like one of the last people I moved up. Him and de Minaur, I had like 10 spots below where they are now when I put this list together. Just as an insight scoop, I guess. And this took a while to put together. Put one for like a month. But eventually I was looking at clips of Berrettini playing, as I did for, I think, all of these players. And I realized, okay, Berrettini should be higher. It makes no sense. He's fun to watch. He's got big forehands. He's got a good slice. He can hit some great shots, so he deserves to be where he is. Number 45, Jack Draper. Also very fun to watch. Great athlete. Number 44, Christopher Eubanks. Draper also just incredible, just hitting and forehand more than anything. I mean, he can still improve on the speed, but anyway, number 44, Christopher Eubanks. Another one where I didn't really know where I was going to place him, but I think Eubanks is very fun to watch, honestly. Another guy who comes to net quite a bit, and he has a great one-hander, and very much a first strike player. Goes after it, takes his chances. Number 3 is Zhang Zhizhen. I mean, I decided to put him here because I think he's very fun to watch, very talented. He hits the ball very hard. Number 42 is Fokina, always falling on the ground and diving for no reason. Number 41 is Richard Gasquet. In his heyday, he might be even higher, but I decided to put Gasquet at number 41. Number 40 is Jakub Mensik. Think he's a very fun player to watch. 39, Emil Rusevori. Number 38, Emilio Nava. Some of you guys might not be that familiar with. I'm sure some of you guys are. A lot of you guys are. But one of the fastest guys. One of the fastest guys around. I enjoy watching Nava for sure. I think Nava, a lot of people would enjoy. It's a shot maker. Number 37, and a fighter as well at that. Number 37, Flavio Caboli. Very fun to watch as well. I could see him being higher, but I decided to put him at 37. 36, Talon Griekspoor. I think he has an underrated entertainment value. I think a lot of people are going to find Griekspoor more entertaining than they give him credit for. Very talented guy. Number 35, Fabian Marajan. Marajan's fun to watch. When he played Alcaraz and beat him in Rome, a lot of people said this is like Alcaraz. It's like Alcaraz beating Alcaraz, and it's kind of true. He's got a weird game style. He can hit some big shots, but can also hit drop shots. He reminds me a bit of Jerzy Janowicz from back in the day, a little bit, but he's kind of a crafty, weird player, so I think he deserves to be there. Number 34, Daniil Medvedev, somebody that I'm always high on. I'm always so high on. I put him at 34. I think a lot of people would have him way lower, honestly, if they were to make a personal favorites list. I think a lot of people who I've spoken to have said he's one of their least favorites to watch. Some people, I mean, he's a bit of a divisive player. The way he plays, the way he conducts himself on court, he's divisive. His personality, everything. Like, he's divisive. But a lot of people have him at number 1. I know he's right up there at the top of mine. Ridiculously talented. I still think Medvedev is one of the most talented players to ever step on a court. Even though he's not that flashy, I think in order to play the unorthodox way he does, there's got to be a ridiculous amount of skill that he maintains, and sometimes he comes up with really crazy shots. But for most people, I think the kind of repetitive backhand cross-court thing and the way he can hit flat and kind of, some people call it ugly, I think it's beautiful technique. I think it's the perfect tennis technique. Medvedev's awesome. I think Medvedev's great, but I think this is not my favorites. This is what I think the most amount of people where they would place them on the entertainment value list. Not mine, but for most people. Number 33 is Shang, Chinese player. Young Chinese player. Love watching Shang. Great shot maker. Number 32 is Jan-Lennart Struff. Love watching him too. Very fun to watch how he really attacks and comes in and comes to net. You don't see that a lot in today's game. I think he's one of the most entertaining to watch out of those kinds of players that do exist at the moment. Then number 31 is, this one's probably the most controversial take that I had. And I put Jannik Sinner at number 31. I put Sinner at number 31. So Sinner at 31, another player I absolutely love watching, but yeah, I mean, for most people, I mean, I've heard a lot of, criticism for Sinner about how he's robotic or machine-like this and that, and people will probably almost always say that about a guy who's winning a lot. But I'm not just going by word of mouth too. I'm judging these players' games, and in Sinner, although I think he's absolutely incredible to watch. If you watch a Sinner Alcaraz match, it's not just Alcaraz that's exciting. It's seeing Sinner step up his game. 2, ridiculously talented player. He can hit some stunning shots, great forehands, but he is very, 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 very calculated. He will build out the points to hit, for him, percentage shots. And now what makes him very entertaining is a lot of the shots that are very percentage are shots that absolutely nobody else would be making or even going for, are percentage shots for him. But they are still a bit percentage. He doesn't go for something absolutely just ridiculous and crazy. He's very much plays within the margins. And that's why people call him robotic sometimes. Which is not to discredit him. That's actually a good thing. But in terms of entertainment value, I think it's hard to discuss entertainment value. I think his talent makes it so that once every match, or once or twice every match, he'll hit a shot that's just absolutely ridiculous because he has the talent to do so. And that's very fun to watch for me. I think he has a very, how would I put this? He has a very, It's hard to talk about Sinner. I don't think he's as flashy as Carlos, but it's fun for me to watch a guy who tries to, play a fine margin kind of game and not take a whole lot of risks, but while doing so, just having a lot of talent while doing so to make his game so utterly effective. He uses the talent to hit these shots at such fine margins that for him, he'll make almost every time. And then using that insane talent to do that, he will occasionally hit a shot that's just absolutely crazy. So to watch a guy that talented, kind of similar to what I was talking about Casper Ruud earlier, to watch a guy who's that talented, that personally is very fun to watch for me, but I know not everybody will feel the same. That's why Sinner's at number 31. Number 30, Dan Evans. Number 29, Sebastian Korda. Number 28, Stefanos Tsitsipas. The reason that I have Tsitsipas at 28, I think Tsitsipas has like very high entertainment value. At this point, everybody has a high entertainment value. Korda right below him hits the ball so clean. I think he has a high entertainment value. Evans, I think he's fun to watch as well. But so this isn't this is a good placement. I think Tsitsipas's personality brings a lot, honestly, which I did want to include in my my considerations here of who's the most entertaining. And yeah, he's a guy that doesn't have problems coming into the net. This is a guy who can hit some crafty shots, and just a talented player. And he can be a bit fiery and show a lot of passion and emotion at times, and hit some big forehands. And I don't know, I think he's fun to watch. And he definitely shows off some talent and plays in a way that's pretty flashy with the one-hander and just his game in general. So I think he should be pretty high on the list. Once occasionally just hits an incredible shot like that dive against Schwartzman in Monte Carlo, for example. So he should be pretty high. He's a good athlete as well. So all around, I think he should be fairly high. And that's why he's at number 28. Number 27, Hugo Gaston is number 27, drop shot king, and just crazy shot king, really. He's a great shot maker. Number 26, Mattia Bellucci, underrated. Bellucci should be very high. He's already compiled a great highlight reel for himself. Very talented player. Another Italian at number 25, Matteo Arnaldi. Love watching Arnaldi. Very great mover. So ridiculously fast. And the way he slides on the court is incredible. Great athlete, great shot maker. Number 24, I've got Thiago Sebath-Wilch, Brazilian player at number 24. 23, I've got Ben Shelton. Ben Shelton. I mean, some people are going to have him pretty low on the list. Some people are going to have him a little bit higher. I think in general, a lot of people are going to have him around here, though, honestly. I mean, he's fun to watch. He's flashy, but he is a bit more reliant on the serve. Not completely. He's a talented guy. Can hit a big forehand. Can hit some great shots on the stretch as well. And some good shots at the net. But I think... I think he's a bit too reliant on the serve maybe to be higher than this, for one. But his personality brings a lot too. Number 22, Diego Schwartzman. I mean, this is you're not going to see many guys who are just so overwhelmingly grinders and baseliners at the top of the list, because you're looking for more flashy players that maybe will try out some different kind of variety in shots. But Schwartzman is such a special baseliner. He's got a great fight in him that is one of the best, and he's got he's so talented. The shots he can produce, even from the backcourt, some of the angles he finds are just remarkable. So Schwartzman is a rare case here. Number 21, Stanislav Wawrinka. Some people are going to have Stan higher on here, I think. But I think, all being said, the reason Stan is low is just because everybody above him, I think, is just so fun to watch. So that's the only thing. We're at the point where everybody is great. But Stan, shout out to Stan. He's incredible. And his one-handed backhand is, in my opinion, the best one-handed backhand ever. One of the best backhands ever, period. Number 20, Aslan Karatsev is number 20. Guy hits the ball so clean. The guy can hit a great tweener, hit a great trick shot. He just hits great shots. Every shot he hits is so clean. I just like his personality is quite fun as well, and it's been memed quite a bit too. But shout out to Aslan. He's cool. Number 19, Francis Tiafoe. I think Tiafoe is very fun to watch. He's he's incredibly talented, supremely talented. He brings the crowd in as well. Bit divisive of a character sometimes, but I think a lot of crowds love him, and I think he brings a lot to the table. It's very underrated foot speed, and he can hit some unique, kind of crazy shots. So I'll definitely give it to Tiafoe at number 19. Number 18, Alex Molchan, who is maybe the most fun player to watch. That's never been, I don't know what his highest ranking has been, but he's never been top 30 for sure. He hasn't been that high ranked, but actually I have a few players above him as well who haven't been that high in the rankings too, but who I just think are very entertaining. Molchan is one of them. Very flashy player. He's hit some of the most ridiculous shots. In general, he's just very flashy the way he plays. The way he hits his forehand, love his forehand, and he can hit some great drop shots. He tries a lot of different shots out. He's fun to watch. Number 17, Kei Nishikori. Just generally one of the most fun to watch. He's hit some great trick shots, but he's just kind of like Tsitsipas, but I think a little bit more than Tsitsipas. He's a great player, and just every bit of his game comes with a bit of flash. So I got to give it to Nishikori. Number 16, Denis Shapovalov. I feel like Dennis could be even higher, and I feel like when he's at his best, he is higher, but he's a little bit inconsistent. Outside of that, he maybe should be higher, but I put Dennis at number 16. He is his serve matters quite a bit to his game too, but, I mean, it's not like Roger Federer. His serve mattered a lot to his game. It wasn't like he wasn't fun to watch. Number 15, Tomas Machac. Machac is one of the guys who's just really broke out this year, and he's been a blast to watch. To watch him in Shanghai, the way he took out Alcaraz, some of the shot making is unreal from Tomas Machac. Coming to net a ton. Another guy who comes to net quite a bit, number 14, Tommy Paul. Shout out to Tommy Paul, underrated shot maker, athlete. Number 13, I've got Artur Fils. Fils, in 5 to 10 years' time, I think he's going to have one of the best highlight reels on tour. Remarkably talented player. It's remarkable how talented Artur Fils is. And, I mean, I don't know if, in general, every match he plays, he's going to hit, the craziest shot ever. He's not going to go first. I don't know if it's going to be like that, but I think once in a while, once every, tournament or two, he hits a shot that's just unbelievable. And I feel like Fils is, in general, a pretty fun character to watch and a fun player to watch. He's got a good game style. So, number 12, Artur Kazau. Kazal is awesome. Kazal is awesome. If you've watched Kazal play, especially when it matters, like, he will show up. He is fearless. He is a shot maker. One of the biggest talents on tour. Number 11, another one of the biggest talents on tour. Maybe one of the most divisive player on this list. Actually, there's probably one above him that's definitely more. But number 11, Corentin Moutet, the Frenchman, and we're about to get into the top 10, which I do think has some surprising names there. But number 11, Moutet, unpredictability, chaos, personality, and game style. You don't get more chaotic and unpredictable than Corentin Moutet. He is a character. Like, he almost bageled Sinner at the French, playing incredible, hitting a drop shot almost every other point, and just hitting all kinds of crazy shots. He can hit some of the craziest shots around, and when he's playing his best, he can test pretty much anybody. So yeah, shout out to Corentin Moutet, because you never know what to expect with him, and I kind of love it. Number 10. Now to the top 10. I think the number 10 name might be the most surprising of any of them. Number 10, I've got JJ Wolf. And, hard to remove bias, honestly, for myself, but I just think that he's fun to watch. I just think he's fun to watch. Whether it's the extreme Eastern grip, kind of weird kind of forehands that are very extended, and the slice serving, and just the personality as well that he brings. The mullet, he's unique, he stands out. When you see him at a tournament, he will stand out, he will catch your eye, he brings a lot of passion, and he can hit crazy, crazy shots that are fun to watch. He's a shot maker, he's a talent. And that talent really shines. Like when he hit that lefty forehand against Hitspots as a pass. But in general, he's really fun to watch. Like, this is a guy who's fun to watch. So I gave him a number 10. Number 9, Fabio Fognini is number 9. I think he's not mentioned enough in the conversations about like a Nick Kyrgios or whoever else. People haven't really fulfilled their potential, you could say, but are fantastic shot makers. I think he's underrated in that kind of contest. Very talented players that haven't quite fulfilled their potentials. Fabio Fognini, I feel like if he really, really gave his 100% throughout his whole career, he should have been a top 5 player. That's honestly how I feel. I was happy that he won a Masters 1000, because it would have been crazy to me how crazy talented he is if he never did that. Also, the personality is there too. Fognini is awesome. Number 8, Lorenzo Musetti. Quick, flashy. Not much I have to explain there, I think. But I will say, Musetti was the fast riser. I had Musetti. When I was making this list, I put everybody into a tier. I had 7 tiers, and Musetti was tier 2. Musetti was tier 2 to start off. I had like 21 players, I think, in tier 1. Musetti was the guy who I just kept climbing up the list further higher than I expected him to. So Musetti, while I was making the list, was definitely... I didn't expect him to land at number 8, but I realized, yeah, Musetti's an entertaining watch, so I put him at number 8. Number 7, Yibing Wu. And yes, the next 2 names are pretty crazy. Number 6, Fonseca. Young player Fonseca. So, yes, 2 players that I think have never been top 50 in the world, but both of them are so fun to watch. And if you've watched these guys play, I think you should know what I'm talking about, in my opinion. Like Yibing Wu is a talent of talents. He is a talent of talents. This guy will just hit a ridiculously hard forehand out of nowhere from a position he has no right to. He is a shot maker. He is flashy. He is, it's really hard to watch Wu not be entertained. Number 6 is Fonseca. This guy, I watched a lot of highlights of him actually when I was kind of looking at him deciding where he should be placed, because I couldn't stop watching them. He was so fun to watch all the time. One of the flashiest games. If he gets to the top of the tour, that's going to be a amazing thing for tennis. Really amazing. Imagine him with Sinner and Alcaraz at the top. It's not going to be another big 3. We're never going to have another big 3 again. It just is what it is. But it could be a great top 3. And it would be, all 3 are very entertaining, I think. So I think it would work. Number 5 is Grigor Dimitrov, who I have at number 5. Don't think it needs explaining. Dimitrov's awesome. He's a great shot maker, one of the best shot makers of the last 20 years easily, and just flashy. Number 4 is Nick Kyrgios, who I put at number 4. We're getting to the top 3. Nick Kyrgios is number 4. When I thought about entertainment value, he was one of the very first players that I thought of, maybe the first. I didn't know exactly where I was going to put him, but number 4 seemed right. I didn't know where I was going to place him until we got to like the top 10, top 5. So, but yeah, number 4, he's flashy. I know he is a bit reliant on the serve, but his serve is fun to watch. He's got a good service motion to watch, and even the way he can kick his second serve, and also just the way you can redirect his backhand, the personality that he brings, the shot making he brings. He's a top 3 talent on tour, in my opinion. Kyrgios deserves the number 4 spot. Number 3 is Alexander Bublik. Not everybody's, favorite or cup of tea, but a lot of people enjoy this guy, and I have to give him his dues as just like an entertaining player. Even people that aren't into tennis, they'll be talking about Bublik and some crazy stunner shot that he pulled off. So Bublik, with his personality, he's just always saying what's on his mind. Excuse me, saying what's on his mind. Even in the UTS chats, he's always just saying what's on his mind. I love those UTS chats. They're very real with the players, but yeah, he'll say what's on his mind. If he doesn't like something, or doesn't like something about what's going on in the grander tennis world, or in a match, he'll say it. But he'll also be very positive with the players at the net, and be quite funny, and hit a crazy shot, hit an underarm serve, bring the crowd in. So Bublik deserves to be number 3. Top 2. Before I made this list, I thought that these were going to be my top 2. Didn't know for sure, but I had the idea. But they were the 2 that I decided on. Number 2. Gael Monfils is my number 2 spot. This is a guy who's an absolute wizard. He is a magician. Some of his magic escape acts, such as against Baez or against Nishikori in Canada in 2017, I think, when he came back from like 6-3 down the tiebreaker. He can have some incredible fight backs. He is a guy who pulls off things on a tennis court I don't see anybody else doing, even the GOATs. He is a one-of-a-kind, unique athlete, shot maker. He brings the crowd in. There's not much more you can want. Yes, I know sometimes he can get into a bit of a pushing category, doesn't take his chances when he needs to. Sometimes he pushes, just gets into long rallies, but other times he's hitting between the legs and hitting crazy shots. He is another one that just is definition unpredictability, and definition just stand out. And Gael Monfils is a very deserving number 2. Great athlete, great shot maker. Number 1, Carlos Alcaraz is my number 1 spot. And fantastic, incredible player, one of the best in the world, but also number 1 on my entertainment value list. Like, he didn't have to be. Fonseca, who I don't think even is top 100 at this point, is number 6. So, Alcaraz didn't have to be number 1 here, but it's really how he brings a crowd in. It's the unique, incredible, constant shot making that he produces, inventing shots, reinventing the game, drop shots, and playing crazy shots in big moments, and stepping up. And the bigger the match, the crazier the points he plays. That's the true thing that will make Alcaraz stand out above anything. Best of 5 sets, grand slams, biggest matches, biggest moments. That's when he produces his best. Big crowds, get into it, fearless mindset, and he is a flashy player. One of the fastest, if not the fastest player we've ever had on tour. And he deserves all his dues. He deserves the respect that he's getting. I have Alcaraz at number one for my number 1 spot. No doubt about it for me. So that is my entertainment value rankings. Once again, not my favorites, but the players that I think most people will be in general entertained by. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. That's what I think are the entertainment value of different players. I'm going to be doing so many more lists and so many more videos on the channel, and more live streams as well. I think it should be great. I think the live streams for next year are going to be very clean and very, very just great and fun, and I think they're going to be very good, and a lot more video content coming. So please don't forget to subscribe. We're going to be doing matches for tournaments all year and other content, interviews, and please don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. It's been Anthony Hirsch. See you guys at the next one.